Hi, as you already know, my name is Atali Sassine, and today for my speech, I want to talk about my grandfather. More specifically, how he helped shape me into the person I am today and also shape my goals and what I want to achieve in my future. As you can probably already assume, I think my grandfather is the most amazing person in the world. Not even forgetting that this man, first grade, he was sick for an entire year, so he had to miss the entire year. And of course, he was held back, had to redo first grade, yet he still managed to graduate at 16. That's kind of amazing, right? But, anyways, back to my relationship with this man. Um, my grandparents decided to have, well, they didn't decide, they just had 4 kids. My mom was the eldest of these 4, and I'm the eldest of my parents. Therefore, I was the first daughter, first granddaughter, first niece, first everything. This family would kind of be nothing without me. I am the reason it is what it is today, and I'm the reason my family is great. Without me, it'd be nothing. You can quote me on that if you want. Anyways, being the firstborn, like I got to spend the most time with my grandparents than anyone else, any of the other grandkids I have, and my grandparents have 12 grandkids, so I know that's a lot. But I was always with him. Considering that growing up we lived in the guest house at my grandparents' house, I was always over there with my grandfather, having tea parties with him in the morning before he would go to work, when I used to be able to wake up at 6 a.m. just like that at the crack of dawn. Like I would hang out with him before work, I would hang out with him when he comes back, and he would come back super late at around 8. I'd have sleepovers with him. He showed me some of the best recipes, which explains why he has diabetes now. One of them was a slice of bread, butter, and sugar on top. And that'd be it. And the other, at my grandparents' house, it's tradition. Every morning when you sleep there, as long as you can sip something, you drink coffee. So every morning that we would sleep at my grandparents' house, we would have coffee and toasted bread with butter. That'd be our breakfast. And then he showed us this trick. Once we're done drinking our coffee and eating our bread, you take I forgot the English for the task, the mug, not the mug, but the mini ones for coffee, and you add like 1 or 2 tables of sugar, a drop of coffee, and you eat it. And it's so good. So good. He did later on end up having diabetes, but it's worth it. It's worth it, the diabetes. Anyways, he was also the one who cultivated a bunch of my likes and interests. Like, he's the one that made me love reading. He's also always been the one that supported me to no matter what in life. I used to be a ballet dancer, as I said in one of my previous videos, I believe. He was always there at each one of my shows, always there looking at me, telling me how amazing I'm doing, where even my parents couldn't do that. When even my parents couldn't even tell me a happy comment, my grandfather was always there supporting me and telling me how amazing I am and telling me how smart I am and telling me how good I am at dancing, and no matter what I do in life, he will always support me as long as I'm happy. His top priority for me was my happiness. I guess it's easy for anyone to say, like for anyone to love a grandfather, but mine, it's truly an inspiring person. By now you might be wondering, like, who is this mysterious Kaki she's like rambling about? My Kaki, although he's a very busy person, like I've never seen anyone more driven to work. Like, he's a workaholic. My grandfather is always working. Like, his work is one of the most important things for him. Like, he'll miss family vacations to stay in Haiti and work. Kind of cuckoo, if you ask me. But no matter what, like, you always know, like, his family, like, he has family values and his family is super important. And no matter what, like, if I call him and he's in a meeting, he's gonna call me back after the meeting, even if it takes like 3 days sometimes, but he's gonna call me back. He's always there for us, and he knows how to, keep the family together. If it wasn't for him and my grandmother, I don't think any of us would be that close. He is also cunning in the business world, so it's funny for me to see. I guess you could say I have this double consciousness about it. Anyone read social theory? Okay, maybe. I have this double consciousness about it because I get to see this man that's amazing and super sweet, super inspiring, and so caring to his family, always making sure all of us are okay, and always making sure to like uplift us and coach and like teach us about stuff we might not know. Like, he's always teaching us stuff, always. And this other side of him in the business world, who is this really cunning and cold-hearted man who knows what he wants, he goes for it, he doesn't let anyone step in his way. And everyone is afraid of him, apparently. I remember I told my godmother what my grandfather is like in the office. Because I know how I have a very biased view of my grandfather. So I was like, okay, so how is he in the office? And she told me, this man is horrifying. At meetings, he sits and he looks, and you know those silent but deadly? That's how he is. My dad, for example, he's very hot-headed. When he's mad, when he's not satisfied, you're gonna know this man is gonna scream your head off. My grandfather, he's more calculated and cold in his anger and in his disapproval. And making my grandfather disappointed in you is the scariest thing. I've never done it. I don't plan on doing it, but scariest thing. Yet, it's amazing to see how someone could draw such a line between like who they are in the business world and who they are in family-wise. When I was a kid, people would always ask me, who's my favorite hero? Who do I think is a hero? And I would always say my grandfather. Like, not Catwoman, not... I don't know, I was never into superheroes growing up, but I will always say my grandfather, because in my eyes, he's a superhero. This man, him and my grandmother, let's not forget Mommy Tis. Mommy Tis has done a lot for this family as well, but my grandfather and my grandmother, they have a family of 22 people, and that's immediate family. My grandparents, they're 4 kids, 12 grandkids. I know, right? Psychotic, that is 12 grandkids. But basically, my mom, 4 kids, her brother, who's my godfather, 4 kids, her other brother, just 1, and her other brother, 3 kids. So we're a family of 22 people. And when I tell you my family is close, we're super close. We do everything together. Family vacations, going to the beach, New Year's, Christmas, all that. Like, we're always together. And everything is always at my grandparents' house. We're, like, you see the relationship in Modern Family? That's the relationship my family has, but just a little bit closer. Because we really are always together. Unless there's, like, you know, violent riots going on and you can't really hang out with each other. But, no matter what, his presence in our life, I can speak on my experience and the experience of his other grandkids. I cannot speak for my parents and for my mom and her siblings and my godfather. But towards me and all my little cousins and all my little siblings, we can all tell you the same thing. Kaki is the most amazing person ever. Always supportive of you, always there for you, and such a rational human being. My family is very religious. My grandfather personally doesn't believe in God. I remember one time I told him I don't want to go to church today. And he told me, okay, if you don't want to go to church, then sit down and write me a dissertation as to why you don't want to go to church and like what prompted the believing system behind your head. Because when he stopped believing in God, he wrote a dissertation about why God isn't real to his mom. I was like, damn. And Toto, my great-grandmother, who's actually still alive, you would not want to do that with her. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't want to be a lawyer. I wouldn't want to read everything that I wouldn't want to read all the time. I wouldn't have self-confidence, and I wouldn't think like I'm able to make it in this world if it wasn't him always pushing me to be my best and always being so supportive of me. No matter how many times I fall down, he is always there to help me back up. He's always there to help me. I mean, he's the only person who's ever really understood me and who's ever been able to like fully be there, if that makes sense. And on that note, I will end by, I hope you guys were able to get a little taste of who my grandfather is, even though I couldn't go in much detail because that'd be an hour-long speech, but yeah, thank you.